All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the state in Nigeria. President Tinubu is recruiting 50,000 new police officers to tackle insecurity. But can he solve the deep-rooted crisis just by adding more men to a broken system? I ask the police PRO today, but again, let me use this medium to welcome you all to an interesting edition of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, your chief host of this platform. My name remains Atanda-Owo Abati. I delve further. I want to use this medium to celebrate a special person on her 60th birthday, Auntie Thames, like I often like to refer to her. She's Mrs. Temilolu Ogundikpe. I've known her since my previous marriage, and she has remained a consistent, beautiful, as in wonderful soul, you know, prayerful and loving. She's blessed with a wonderful husband, Uncle Jeeves, like I like to refer to him. This is one of the marriages I can tell you categorically that they are enjoying that institution called marriage. And of course, it's a brilliant family because it consists of, you know, wonderful children who are first class, you know, products, you know, both at home and abroad, you know, intellectually sound with good morals. It's not just for you to have children who are academically sound, but it's good for you to have children who have good morals, who will not actually stain your name, and those are the kind of blessings God has given to them. And they provided, you know, Auntie Thames is one of the people that I can tell you provided listening ears and supportive hands, you know, during my past union. You know, I love her deeply, and I'm truly blessed to have someone like her in my world. I wish her God's continued fulfillment in every areas of her life. May God perfect all that concerns her, you know, as she celebrates her diamond age. I love you so much, Auntie Thames. Thank you so much for being a good soul. Thank you for letting people like us know that there are still good people out there. I truly, truly love you. And secondly, let me quickly use this medium to actually make a shout out to one of the team lead in my on Real Talk with Kike platform, you know, Francis. Today is his birthday as well. This has implications. You have to provide many puff and the likes and all of it. This is not the time for me to drop anything. This is the time for you to show yourself, to say that, you know what, I'm enough, you know, and I can do this, you know. Francis is one of the people I can tell you that is an omoluabi to the core. Many times you have people who are working closely with you, but they bring a lot of chaos to your environment, to your thought process and the likes and all of that. And he has been a strong person that I can tell you that, you know, with my own best understanding, that he's a good father and is a good husband as well. Though his wife is in a better position to say, because sometimes these men, they let us see what they want us to see. But behind cameras, they could just be another person. But with the best of my own knowledge, I think that is a wonderful soul. And thank you so much, Francis, for all your contribution on this platform, and of course for being a good team lead to every one of us, for making them, for not micromanaging people. Again, you might have a team lead but wants to micromanage everybody, wants to be the one that wants to do everything, that wants to take the glory of other people. I see all of that, and I'm saying thank you so much for being a good leader. I think on this note, it's important for us to go on a quick break. When I return, the conversation will continue. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, many thanks for staying with me. The history remains, or this history rather, remains critical in modern Nigeria, when national unity and regional lessons are central to politics and security, because I don't think we have discovered Biafra and challenges, and that is why I feel people like Nnamdi Kanu and Ekpen were using their own influence to tear down the unity that holds us together in this country, Nigeria. I think, that's my take from on this day news segment. On this, I think it's important for us to quickly get the message from our sponsor. When I return, we'll dive straight to the issue at hand, and I hope that we'll be able to connect with the guests. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. Hi, many thanks for staying with me. Nigeria faces a severe security crisis with a recent surge in the mass kidnappings by armed groups, especially in the north. Over 400 people, mainly school children, have been adopted in recent weeks. The crisis is fueling a major food emergency, putting millions at risk in a, would I say, decisive response to an harrowing wave of mass kidnappings targeting schools and communities. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared a national security emergency. The centerpiece of the government strategy is the urgent recruitment of 50,000 new police officers, one of the largest expansions in recent history, that, coupled with the unprecedented withdrawals of officers from VIP protection duties for redeployment to crisis zones. On this episode, of Real Talk with Kike today, I go beyond the headlines with the Nigerian Police Force in terms of the Nigerian Police Force Public Relations Officer. I will have a real talk on the operational reality of the massive undertaking. Can the forces, in terms of training, infrastructure, and logistics, support such a rapid influx of personnel while maintaining professionalism, is some of the questions I'll be asking. How will the public be assured of a transparent or merit-based recruitment process? But before we delve into today's conversation, I think it's best I just go straight to my guest. I understand that is on ground right now. Before I start playing his profile again, let me use this medium to welcome CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, the first public relations officer, Nigerian Police. It's a pleasure to have you on Real Talk with Kike today. I know that you have a busy schedule, and I'm very grateful for you to create time to lend your voice on issues that affect us all. How are you doing today, sir?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and I apologize.
Can you hear me? I don't know if you can unmute yourself at your end. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Okay, I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you. But let me quickly go ahead. Some critics, like former presidential candidate Adewale Adebayo, says that the problem is not primarily a shortage of personnel, but weak command in terms of control and system corruption. I must ask you, why should Nigerians believe that adding 50,000 new officers will succeed where previous expansions have not, without first fixing these underlying issues? What are the underlying issues I'm talking about? You and I know the corruption, well, how will I put it now? This issue of insurgency that have become a culture in our country. How do we move forward from here?
Well, thank you very much. We have started moving forward by the approval to recruit 50,000 new police officers. So that's a step forward. We have also started with the creation of the Police Trust Fund by the government, which would ensure that funds are gathered and used to equip the police and used to properly train the police. We have started with the creation of a separate ministry for the police. We have started with the creation of a House Committee on Police Affairs. So these are things that have been done to acknowledge the fact that we have issues that are affecting the service delivery of the police and trying to fix them. So to get the police of our dreams, what we have done are the things we should do. then we need to continue with them so that we can further expand. If we get 50,000 this year, trust me, like 20,000 would retire. Maybe, I mean, voluntarily resign. Some would unfortunately die. So out of that 50,000, you might just be getting maybe 30 or 35,000. And once we keep at it, every year we keep recruiting and we keep enhancing the capacity of the force through training and equipment. Trust me, things will get better. It might be slow, but it will be steady and things will get better.
All right, many thanks. Many thanks for that insight right there. Yes, I'm trying to trust you. I personally have faith in the police force because I'm an extension of the police force. However, listening to you and in your first submission saying that there's possibility that almost 30,000, will retire. The presidency has asked citizens to photograph and report VIPs still using police escorts. Doesn't this admission that enforcement requires public surveillance in terms of a surveillance that indicates, a lack of an internal enforcement mechanism? And why am I asking this? How will the police force itself, or police itself, owns officers and powerful figures to ensure that this order is not, I don't know, because I know that the announcement of this has been done 3 times. Twice from the AIG, if I'm correct, but this is the first time the president is actually lending his voice on this. And my second question, because of time, because I know you're a very busy person and all hands on deck for you. And let me use this medium to say kudos for all the things that you're doing, for impacting us, for trying your best. Maybe we want more from you guys, but at least we must say that you are doing your best. What's your take on this thus far? 2 questions, please.
Well, I'm not sure I got your question well, but the first question you asked about internal mechanism to check level of compliance coming up because the presidency has asked people to report. Well, the truth is, when you have a police force of over 300,000 and compliance level is 90, 95, 98%, and there is this 2% that is unruly, like we would have unruly, disobedient people in every sector of our society. Yeah, it tends to look like there are many because we're talking about 2% of 300,000. So it's not like we don't have compliance mechanisms, how to check them. In fact, the IGP has already directed some sections of the force to go out, station themselves at the airports to check compliance. So we have compliance level ongoing. Then the second question, I didn't quite get that. That's if we'll be transferring some of the challenges to the people that will be taking over. Well, that's left to be seen, but at least we are freeing men to use at the front line for proper policing.
With that, with all that is going on right now, I cannot help to ask you this question because, with the plan to use NYSC, will I say, camps as training depots and the likes, what specific accelerated, training curriculum do you have in place? Because I'm a trainer myself and I believe so much in training police officers because of these 50,000 recruitments that are going to, that seems like a large number to many Nigerians listening to you. How do we intend to equip them in a way that will not, that will not be a complex, issues in terms of the security challenges like insurgency and kidnapping that has become a culture in our country today? What's your take on this?
Well, we can't really accelerate training if we want the training to be proper and quality. So what we can only do is to start the training early so that we can conclude early. And so this time around, we will ensure that the training is quite relatable to the current realities. So the terrorism, the insurgency, banditry, and all of that would feature a lot in our training. So simply put, there is no accelerated training because we want them to be properly trained officers. So the best we can do is to start early. The Police Service Commission and the Nigeria Police Force has inaugurated an ad hoc committee to fine-tune modalities for the recruitment. And in a couple of weeks, I think the announcement will be out on how people can enlist or join the police force. And once that is out, we just start in earnest.
So that information being put out there. But let me ask you this quickly, because I know leaders in the Northwest have stated that military gains, fail to bring sustainable peace because of the structural drivers of insecurity that remains unaddressed. What is the Nigerian police force role in a non-kinetic long-term strategy that addresses these issues like poverty, unemployment, lack of education that feed criminality?
Okay, thank you. Poverty, unemployment, I wouldn't dabble into that. The government will handle that. Yeah, the fallout of this is insecurity, I admit, and that's what we are going to face headlong. So for us, what's our long-term plan? Our long-term plan is to ensure that crime is reduced to almost zero. It's not impossible. I mean, it's not possible to have a totally crime-free society. Nowhere in the world do you have that. But we'll reduce it to the barest so that once that is in place, employment can even, job creation can even thrive. It will help the economies to thrive, and there'll be more jobs to be created. So our long-term goal, and we don't want it to take too long. Our long-term goal is to ensure that crime is eradicated, and we're working on it. There's been work in progress, and thankfully the government is supporting us as it should, and it's just left to be seen how things will improve.
Thanks again. I think this will be my last question to you, because I know that you are very busy at your end right now. The governor of Kaduna State and others at the recent Northwest Security Summit strongly advocated for state policing as a critical solution. I know that on this platform I've spoken a lot about state policing. Where does the Nigerian police force, in terms of leadership, stand on this debate? And how does this current federal recruitment, drive alignment, or where there will not be conflicts with that potential future? That's my first question. My second question is that, the new strategy involves, multiple agencies like police, army, DSS, deploying forest guards and civil defenses. Historically, because I'm a woman of history, interagency rivalry has ampled operations. Let's keep it real on this platform. That's why it's called Real Talk. What concrete new command and control structure is being implemented to ensure that there's a seamless cooperation and avoid this fragmentation experts that warns about most of these challenges at hand? What's your take on these two questions, please?
Well, interagency cooperation is age-long. It's as long as, it's as old as the existence of these agencies themselves. So you can't exactly rule it out. But the thing is, we need to work together to achieve our goal, because we have the same goal to ensure safety and security. I also like to point out that that's why we have the office of the NSA, the Office of the National Security Advisor, that comes around to coordinate the activities of all of these agencies. The coordination is there. So having forest guards, civil defense, DSS, the police, doing the same work of security shouldn't be a problem, because there's proper coordination. The leadership of all of these agencies meet together, cross-fertilize ideas, compare notes, all in a bid to ensure that there's absolute safety and security. So I would like to allay the fear of Nigerians. I like to let them know that there's nothing to worry about. On this particular one, we're working together to ensure that they have peace and security.
Thanks again, but I don't think you really answered my question on state policing in terms of what's your take on state policing. Okay, so I'm sorry,
what exactly is your question so that I can answer it?
All right. I was asking you earlier regarding state policing, because I listened to the summit, the Northwest Security Summit, that strongly advocated for state policing as a critical solution to the issue that we have at hand. What's your take on this?
Okay, thank you very much. I would explain my take. You see, we are law enforcement officers. We enforce the law. We don't enforce any other thing except the law. And currently, as we speak, the law says, the constitution says, there shall be only one police force in the country, and it shall be known as the Nigeria Police Force. There shall be no other police force in the country. And that's the law we're enforcing. So it's all left to the lawmakers. If the lawmakers should amend the law today such that it says, oh, there can be federal police and there can be state police, we are duty bound to enforce that law. So it's not for us to decide, it's for the people who have their representatives cutting across all 774 local government areas of the country in the National Assembly. Once they decide, then we abide by it. But it's not for us to decide. Thank you.
Many thanks for creating time to lend your voice on issues that affect us all. I wish we have time where I can ask you key recommendations from security summits, establishing those local security committees with traditional rulers and youths to build trust and serve us as early warning system. But again, with all that you've shared thus far, I know that there are so many things that we can pick from it, and we hope to hear from the police force very soon in terms of the atmosphere of how things will be run. Again, I want to say thank you so much for doing this with me. CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, the first public relations officer, Nigerian Police Force. We wish you the very best as you continue to impact the society at large. Many thanks for being here. Let's go on a quick break to get a word from my sponsor. When I return, the conversation will continue. Please stay with me. I'll be back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. Of course, we've heard from the public relations officer in Nigeria, in Nigeria Police Force, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, for all that you have shared thus far regarding, the different perspective on the issue at hand when it comes to insecurity in Nigeria. And I hope that, this will bring some level of relief, even though we are still waiting to hear from them regarding how they want to recruit more of the younger citizens, and how the training is going to go forward, and how also state policing, will go. I believe that he has thrown a lot of light on the issue at hand regarding the law that guides that. But unfortunately, we couldn't actually get enough of his time because he's a very busy person who had to just, I pulled him out of something else, and we are just grateful that he can do that with us. But let me quickly move to the to my take on certain topical issues that has been, all over the socials, all over the lips of many Nigerians. And one of the ones that caught my attention the most is the controversy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ambassadorial list. And you know what, regarding the ambassadorial list, that was published by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there has been a serious controversies and debates about the qualifications and the credibility of those names. My own contribution to this public debate is as follows. I have looked at the list holistically, and it's truly controversial if I'm going to keep it real on this platform. First off, why should an ambassadorial list take nearly 3 years to be published? We complained about former President Buhari taking time to release his own list, but that was about, I think, 6 months, if I'm accurate. This 3-year delay shows I don't know, it shows on seriousness, it shows inability. If a government cannot decide who will present or who will represent us, rather, as it represents over 200 million Nigerians globally, within 1,095 days, it reflects poorly on us. It reflects on its competence, on lack of skills. So when we look at the list, we see many individuals who have lobbied for those positions. A specific allegations against this government is using appointments to compensate political allies or for political kickbacks. This is absolutely wrong on all levels. Are we doing the same over and over again while expecting different results? I'm asking in pain. How long will we keep putting round pegs in square holes? some on the list like on that list like former education minister Adamu, former INEC chairman Mahmudu Yakubu, former assistants, you know, he worked under somebody, you know, during President Jonathan's administration, who is Renan Mokore, and former governor of Abia State, who have served the nation. You know, I want to give them kudos for their past contribution one way or the other. But same set of individuals are not messiahs for every political positions. I'm trying to keep it real as much as I can and try to manage my thought process, because at this rate, there are so many questions coming to my head. However, my question is this. In Nigeria's current context of facing significant backlash on this international stage, are these the most qualified people to represent us? While a former senator or a minister may have influence, what international credibility do they possess? Many are part of the political system that has, you know, caused us so much pain in our country today. A system with no clear political ideology, no moral principles, and where politicians cross carpets at will, showing no faith to long-term party goals. So I'm asking in pain, who did this to us? This is an absolute shame, however we look at it. At this critical time, the presidency should work with the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission to unpick strategic individuals with high international influence. The government has done well engaging people like Bayo Ogunlese, if I'm correct, to attract investment. But for diplomacy, we need people like that has that weight, that credibility in specific countries. Individuals whose voices can carry authority globally. People like, I don't know, it might take, because that's the reason why I'm calling it my take now. People like a former two-time governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, who is very intelligent, who has international respect. If you are looking at the business from maybe people like Tony Elumelu, a fantastic entrepreneur, if you ask me, with strong business collaboration in EU, he could represent us powerfully. When such individuals speak, world leaders will want to listen. Look at the likes of Donald Trump is interested in revenue first for him. We can get people like that to represent us, people with pedigree. Another example that is coming to my head is figures like Tope Awotan, you know, are people who can champion Nigerians' assignments abroad, ensuring that we have a better fronting from Abu Dhabi, name it, to Hong Kong, to UAE. These are individuals making us proud in their own little way. As far as I'm concerned, that's my take. That can be an ambassadors. They could help turn our fortunes around. People like Uncle Shego Shoba as well, a veteran journalist with integrity. If not because of all these political shenanigans, I feel like the likes of Atiku Abubakar, whose business investments and properties are in the Middle East, he understands that region. These are the people that, in those countries, they respect people who have come into their country to invest. They will listen. These are the caliber of strategic, global respected individuals that we should be considering to restore this Nigeria's credibility and advance our interests on the world stage. For goodness sake, what is wrong with us? I don't know. I rest my thoughts right now. And on a good note, I think I want to use this medium, right? Today, I celebrate one of my sisters. I like to refer to her as Sister Ijoma Ibosi on her 53rd birthday. She is the founder and CEO of Kotesa Group, a premier retail brand, simultaneously with timeless style and luxury. Sister Ijoma Ubosi is the founder and CEO of Kotesa Group, a leading Nigerian fashion and lifestyle retail brand with a strong presence in multiple states in Nigeria. At Kotesa, I'm one of those people that I can attest to the luxury, the quality of their brands, and it ventures like Arsenal for exclusive gold and diamonds jewelry for those who just, and really investing in gold is not a waste. She champions those quality, those elegance, and international design as well, from her stunning dresses, to her genuine support for others, and Sister Ijoma has built a name for herself, a name with purpose, with intentionality. Our hobby and mine are beginning to build good relationship as well by showing up for one another, which is something that I feel that many times we actually concentrate on the business angle and not paying attention to people's character and how they show up for you, and I like the fact that they created time, to actually also attend my hubby's birthday as well. So aside that, but Ijoma also, sent us cartons of drinks, let me put it out there, during the event, the many days event that we had. I'm very, very thoughtful of her, very generous of her. She's such a wonderful soul. I just want to say happy 53rd birthday to my beautiful, lovely Sister Ijoma. Thank you so much for being kind. Thank you so much for thinking beyond clientele relationship and trying to actually build a character that many can actually emulate and be. I think on this note, this is where I draw the curtains of the show. But before I end the show, let me quickly use this opportunity to also, thank our resourceful guest, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, the first public relations officer, Nigerian police, for creating time to lend his voice on a critical issue that affects all of us in this country, Nigeria. My name remains Kikelomo Atanda-Owo Abati. Till I come your way on Thursday on this platform, remember to catch me live on Inspiration FM tomorrow, your drive time talk show, where I open the platform for my listener to lend their voice. I think this is one of the platforms that I also enjoy in terms of feedback from my audience, and of course them contributing as well. Many times we bring in guests who want to drive the thought process of how issues are. Sometimes it's also good for us to just open the platform for us to hear from the streets, and that's what my radio program does for me. Again, thank you so much for listening. Please remain safe and be kind to one another. My name remains Kikelomo Atanda-Owo Abati. Bye now.